Good evening. This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Asma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Saturday saw the official opening of a two-day international symposium on Africa-Arab cultural integration being hosted in the Gambia. Between the Sahel Executive Education Development Perspectives UK and the GCCI delivered a two-day masterclass and conclave on public-private partnership and asset recycling. The Gambia Women Livestock Breeders Association visited President Adama Barrow and appealed for access to finance to empower more women to venture into livestock breeding. A US-based consulting firm has estimated that reparations for the slave trade due from 31 countries amount to more than $100 trillion. In international news, Niger's junta on Friday ordered France's envoy to leave the country within 48 hours. Those remain headlines. Now the news in detail. Thank you for staying with us. Now, deputizing for President Adama Barrow, Baboucarr Boye, the Gambia's Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform and Policy, on Saturday presided over the official opening of a two-day international symposium on Africa-Arab cultural integration being hosted in the Gambia. Alusise reports.
Organized by the Africa-Arab Cultural Institute in collaboration with Amana, the General Secretariat for Islamic and Arabic Education in the Gambia, the International Symposium is under the theme Africa-Arab Cultural Integration and its role in the face of the changes in the context of the New World Order. The event brings together Islamic scholars from within the Gambia and beyond, including Senegal, Mali and Mauritania, to brainstorm on furthering Africa-Arab cultural integration. Deputizing for President Adama Barrow, Minister Baboucarr Boye, who is credited for his contribution to the promotion of Islamic and Arabic education, as a former permanent secretary, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, believes it is more relevant today than ever to empower the teaching and learning of Islamic and Arabic education.
The functions of Arabic language in understanding and practicing the major religion of our country is therefore facilitating cultural integration of Gambian people and the Arab world. This apart, many Gambian scholars have had their education in the Arabian countries, resulting to cultural integration. Arabic language is therefore serving the purpose of bringing about unity as well as a framework for enhancing national development.
Sheikh Umar Quraish, Chairman of Amana, the General Secretariat for Islamic and Arabic Education in the Gambia, and Dr. Mohammed Salim Sufi, the Director General of the Arab Africa Cultural Institute, co-organizers of the event, welcome the conference as timely and hope the outcome of the discussions will be beneficial to the Muslim community. Sheikh Essa Dabo, President of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, urged the Arab world to support the promotion of their culture while thanking the government of the Gambia under President Adama Barrow for empowering Islamic and Arabic education in the Gambia.
I urge the Arab world to support their culture as the Western countries are doing for their culture. I want to register our thanks and appreciation to the government of the Gambia under the leadership of Adama Barrow and even the previous government for their support to Islamic education. Alhamdulillah, Gambia has achieved a lot through that support. So we thank the government for that support. At the moment, we have 30% of our teachers that are in the Islamic education sector that are receiving their salaries through the government subvention. So we thank the government for that. We thank for their recognition. We thank for their support.
The symposium will see a series of presentations on various topics, the impact of international changes on Afro-Arab relations and their major impacts on the region, new forms of trans-Saharan trade between North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, and the role of the Arab language in strengthening cultural relations between African peoples and the Arab world.
وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ نُزُلًا مِّنْ غَفُورٍ رَحِيمٍ.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Alusise.
A collaborative initiative of the Sahel Executive Education Development Perspectives UK and the Gambia Chamber of Commerce delivered a two-day masterclass and conclave on public-private partnerships and asset recycling. Lena Igwenyiba reports.
The interactive two-day masterclass successfully convened prominent stakeholders for training in public-private partnerships, PPP, and asset recycling. PPPs are cooperative arrangements between government entities and private companies or consortium. These collaborations facilitate the financing, development, operation, and maintenance of traditionally public domain projects, such as infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The objective is to capitalize on private sector proficiency and resources while equitably sharing risks and rewards. Abdoulaye Touré, president of Sahel Executive Education and Sahel Group, an integral organizer, outlined the masterclass's intended outcomes.
There is a lot of discussion about asset recycling, public-private partnership, which is new in our vocabulary, and there is need to expose everybody to what are the nuts and bolts of PPPs, how should it be structured, what are the terms and conditions, what are the social benefits, what are the economic benefits, what are the community benefits, and how can we leverage PPPs or asset recycling to fast-track the development of the Gambia.
Ibrahim Afal, the CEO of Development Perspectives UK, a development NGO specializing in innovative consultancy and bespoke executive training in infrastructure and project financing, underscored the essence of the training.
It's the beginning. It's the first one that we're doing, and it's just 2 days. But my guess is that we will now start building on that as we go into the future. The government is trying to develop its capacity in terms of being able to do public-private partnerships with projects that are of importance to the country.
Participants delved into diverse modules, including overviews, establishing a PPP framework, project identification, PPP screening, and appraising PPP projects, among others. Ibrahim Silla, the Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, participated in the workshop and praised the masterclass for providing invaluable insights foreseeing its potential impact.
This training is fundamental to our work because it takes you through the various stages, the processes, and also even the PPP modeling. This is important because what we have in this country is most of the time we have what we call unsolicited offers, where people come and then they throw all kinds of proposals on you. Now, I encourage, all those that especially handle large-scale infrastructure projects to partake in this type of capacity building.
PPP initiatives have the potential to elevate public service quality, encourage innovation, and enhance accountability. Furthermore, they can catalyze economic expansion, generate employment opportunities, and attract foreign investments. At a welcome dinner on the eve of this training, which was attended by cabinet ministers and some members of the private sector, the president of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Idrissa Mas Diop, gave a presentation on how government and the private sector can partner in development initiatives.
And the other thing we have to talk about is our current situation. The current situation of the Gambia is that we are ranked 172nd poorest nation as far as the HDI is concerned. And this is a reality. We are very poor. We lack infrastructure. It's not against anybody. We are in this thing together, the government, businesses, and the community. The rains today, it's been raining for a couple of days. The majority of our people are sleeping in houses that they have to put buckets. They cannot go to their houses. People are going to fall. That is a reality. You cannot change reality. You have to accept our starting point. But we have to intend to be able to do something about our starting point.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
The Gambia Women Livestock Breeders Association is calling on the government to give more support through access to finance to empower more women to venture into this trade. They made the plea when they met President Adama Barrow on Friday at State House. Alice, say again.
Speaking to the State House Press Corps shortly after their closed-door meeting with the President, Ma Awa Fall, President of Women Livestock Breeders Association, said among the challenges they face is lack of access to finance, which is deterring many women from venturing into breeding. Madam Fall, who breeds goats and sheep, said the women are upbeat as the President gave assurances that he will engage his ministers on the matter.
Kaddu President bi dal na xel kontaan nañ trop parce que taxaw na pour dimbale jigéen ñi.
The words from the President are reassuring, and he gave us the assurance that he will work to fulfill our demands, and he will call on 2 of his ministers to help us, the women, and that makes us very happy, and we pray Allah will bless him.
Babukar Jang, Secretary General of the Gambia Breeders Association, of which the Women Breeders Association is part, who accompanied the women, believes the government should do more to inspire women to take up breeding as another source of income and help realize food self-sufficiency.
The primary challenge is feed, and in terms of the women, having access to financing has been a challenge, because many times they are required to provide collaterals, and we know women usually don't have title deeds to provide as collateral, and that has been a major challenge, accessing financing. But additionally, the availability of feed, and that's why we are accompanied here by Unique Global, which is a feed producing company. We hopefully from today on we will be able to talk to them more and have a better collaboration. We've outlined the challenge of having some basic feed in the Gambia to His Excellency, including what we call the bele or the groundnut cake, which are produced in the Gambia but scarce in the Gambia because most of it goes out of the country.
The need for adequate livestock feed is one thing they would want to be addressed, which the President has promised to look into. In the past, many have complained of the hike in cost of rams, many of which are imported into the country. It is the belief by many that empowering local breeders could be a one way of addressing the problem. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
That story by Aliou Cissé takes us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local as well as international news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Asma Uba. Now, in attempting to calculate the harm caused by slavery, a US-based consulting firm has estimated that reparations due from 31 countries for their role in the slave trade amount to more than $100 trillion. A judge has commented on the findings of the report, saying reparation is required by history and law. Mamudulamin Choi has more.
It is more than 2 centuries since the global campaign for the abolition of slavery. This may seem a long enough time to forget the crime and damage caused to human beings, but of course not for those countries and people who suffered most of the atrocities during 400 years of slavery. However, deep into the 21st century, justice seems far away for slavery's victims and their descendants. This injustice is of interest to justice campaigners and descendants of slavery's victims, fueling growing demands for reparative justice by many campaigners. Reparation might be a hard task to accomplish due to a long-standing political intransigence by the nations deemed most culpable. Nevertheless, some campaigners have explored arithmetic answers to the estimated cost for reparations. In 2021, a US-based consultancy firm, Brattle Group, was hired to calculate the monetary value of the harms caused by the transatlantic slave trade. The study assessed 5 harms caused during and after slavery and the wealth amassed by the 31 countries which enslaved African people. In June this year, the consultancy firm published what is widely described as one of the most comprehensive attempts to calculate the harm caused by the transatlantic slave trade. It reports that harm caused by 31 former slaveholding countries is estimated at between 100 to 131 trillion US dollars. The countries include the United Kingdom, the United States, France, Portugal, Spain, and the Netherlands. The estimated figure exceeds the global 2019 annual collective GDP. The report also sets out a decades-long payment plan, but states that it is up to governments to negotiate how much and how to pay the trillions of dollars. Commenting on the report, Judge Patrick Robinson of the International Court of Justice, who presided over the trial of the former Yugoslav president Slobodan Milosevic, said earlier this week that the former slaveholding countries, quote, cannot continue to ignore the greatest atrocity signifying man's inhumanity to man, end of quote. He goes on to argue that, quote, reparations have been paid for other wrongs and obviously far more quickly, far more speedily than reparations for what I consider the greatest atrocity and crime in the history of mankind, transatlantic chattel slavery, end of quote. The judge's comments reflect the brutal historical irony that occurred after slave trade was abolished in the United Kingdom. In a bizarre move, the British government agreed to pay £5 million in compensation to slave owners, which represented 40% of the government's yearly income in those days and is equivalent to £300 billion today. The compensation to former slave owners only completed in 2015, more than 180 years later. Until today, not a single shilling of reparation, nor a single word of apology has been granted by the British state for its crime in one of the most brutal crimes against humanity. Now, the legality and the practicality of payment of over $100 trillion reparations for the harm caused by the transatlantic slave trade has become a jigsaw puzzle that requires solving. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
That story by Mahmoud Lamin Choi takes us to international news in a moment. Now, Niger's junta has ordered Francis Envoy to leave the country within 48 hours on Friday. Jennifer Sonko has the details.
A statement published by state broadcaster ORTN, the Nigerian Foreign Ministry says the ambassador Sylvian Ite had refused to attend a meeting scheduled for Friday with the country's foreign minister. The statement also cited actions by French government contrary to Niger's interest, without elaborating. In early August, the junta said it will scrap various military cooperation deals with France that were made under the ousted president. France has called for President Mohamed Bazoum to be returned to office after his ouster and has said it would support efforts by West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS to overturn the coup. The coup has pushed Niger's long-standing relationship with France to breaking point, and this latest move raises further doubts about the future of joint military efforts to fight an Islamist insurgency in the conflict-torn Sahel region. Niger has strategic significance as one of the world's biggest producers of uranium and as a base for French, US and other troops that are helping to fight Islamist military groups in the region. France had deployed 1,500 men to back President Bazoum in his fight. The deterioration in Niger-France relation echoes post-coup developments in Mali and Burkina Faso, which have boosted out French forces and severed long-standing ties. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
Well, that's all we have for you on this news bulletin. But before we go, a recap of our main news headlines. Saturday saw the official opening of a two-day international symposium on Africa-Arab cultural integration being hosted in the Gambia. Between the Sahel Executive Education Development Perspectives UK and the GCCI delivered a two-day masterclass and conclave on public-private partnerships and asset recycling. The Gambia Women Livestock Breeders Association visited President Adama Barrow and appealed for access to finance to empower more women to venture into livestock breeding. A US-based consulting firm has estimated that reparations for slave trade due from 31 countries amount to more than $100 trillion. In international news, Niger's junta on Friday ordered France's envoy to leave the country within 48 hours. Well, that's all we have for you on this news bulletin. Thanks for watching.